Are under fire, facing public complaints about not doing enough to stop or solve crime or respond to calls for service. But insiders tell me officers on the streets are handcuffed because of decisions made at the top.
You know, if they would be doing their job like they should be doing it, things like this wouldn't be happening, you know.
We told you last month about Margaret. She was beaten and says police failed to follow up with her.
It became very frustrating.
Business owner C.J. Hathaway has another story.
I went to the police on 2 or 3 occasions, and they said it was a civil matter.
She took $50,000 worth of jewelry to Harding Bullock Jewelers for cleaning and repairs a year ago.
The shop was closed. It said they'd be back in a week, and I went back in a week, and 2 weeks, and 3 weeks, and it turned into months.
And she says police would not help.
There's a frustration that is existing in this community like I've never seen before.
Business owner and former city council president Randy Thurston says enough is enough.
And I really think it needs to go to the city manager's office, and they need to take the responsibility of providing what they should, which is good, solid response time for the people of Pueblo and to get the results.
Police records show officer staffing has not changed since 1974. Back then, 194 sworn personnel. 40 years later, 193. Meanwhile, calls for help from the public skyrocketed from nearly 64,000 in 1974 to more than 142,000 last year. That's a 123% increase, while officer numbers dropped by 1.
We've heard from officers who don't want to go on camera for fear of losing their jobs, but they say the problem's with the person who sits at the top of this building, the city manager. They say his priorities are not in line with public safety. We took their concerns straight to him.
You're up here, you're just keeping an eye on the budget, you're not paying attention to what's happening on the street. What do you tell them?
You know, do I go ahead and fund for another 20 police officers in our department? I can, but that has to be directed by the council, because there's certain amount of, you know, pot of money is provided through our taxation to me, and the council expect me to divvy it up accordingly so we can provide adequate amount of services to all citizens, you know.
He says since tax revenues are starting to recover, it may be time to reset the budget priorities.
Obviously, the council looks to me as the city manager to provide recommendations, and you know, without me waiting for the council to set priorities, I think I'm going to go to the council and provide those recommendations that, you know, it's time to spend some money in public safety.
Well, right now he is recommending they add 2 more officers next year, but he says it looks like they may need more than that. By the way, as for C.J. Hathaway, we do have a little bit of good news. After KRDO News Channel 13 made some initial calls, police found her $30,000 ring at another jewelry shop in town.
You know, if you wouldn't have been involved on this, James, things wouldn't have changed. It would have still been more frustration. CJ was contacted fairly quick after your inquiry, and immediately things changed.
Now, Irby Jewelers in the Union Historic District has a box of jewelry they have been holding for Harding Bullock customers. They've been surprised not many customers have come to pick them up. Now, if you're one of those customers, you need to bring your receipt so they can match it with the jewelry. By the way, we have not been able to get a response from the owners of the now shut down Harding Bullock Jewelers. The owner of Irby says she hasn't been able to get a hold of them either. Hathaway is still missing a $20,000 gold and diamond watch.